Hi, today I'm going to talk with you about how to find a therapist. A lot of people would like to seek therapy, but they don't quite know how to go about finding a therapist, so I'm hoping this segment helps you. I'm going to give you 7 tips for finding a good therapist. The first one is, if possible, get a referral. If you have friends who have gone to someone and they feel good about that person, there's a good chance that that person might work for you as well. If you live in a small community, you might hear a few people talking about one therapist, and if the person has a good reputation, again, there's a good chance that you may like them as well. The second thing is to find someone in your area of expertise. If you'd like to seek relationship counseling, make sure that you find someone who has an expertise in the area of relationships. If you're dealing with addiction issues, ensure that the person you go to has some expertise in that field as well. Of course, if you're seeking a child therapist, you want someone who has a license in providing child therapy. And that leads into the third tip, which is find someone who's licensed. Whether it's a psychologist, a marriage and family counselor, a psychiatrist, ensure that they have a license, because that ordinarily means they have more training. For example, I'm a psychologist, and in addition to having a doctorate, you need to have 3,500 hours of training in order to sit for the licensing exam, and then you need to pass the boards. And so that ensures a certain level of expertise. The fourth thing is, I would really recommend you find someone who's willing to engage. A therapist can be very successful and a very good therapist sometimes if there are silences and they're taking things in. It can be a style, and yet at the same time you want someone who's willing to engage with you. Not to tell you what to do in your life, because that's not ordinarily a sign of a good therapist. You want someone who will draw you out and help you come up with ideas, but basically someone who's willing to engage back and forth with you. The fifth is to find someone who's emotionally intelligent. There's a very big difference between education that we are able to obtain in school, book learning as they put it, and being emotionally intelligent, which has to do with things like sensitivity, being able to relate well, not behaving in a manner that's superior, but meeting you where you are and being respectful, treating you with dignity, not being demeaning, and also having training or education doesn't make us necessarily able to be respectful. Number 6 is interview the person ahead of time. It can be either by phone call or have a brief, maybe a 15-minute or a half-hour, ask for a meeting with the person. We learn so much more and get a sense for whether we're compatible when we're able to talk with someone by phone or meet with them in person. So don't just call and talk to a receptionist, but actually have some interaction with the therapist, because you'll really get a sense for whether you think that person might work well with you and for you. The 7th thing, and this is actually the first thing you might want to check when you're looking, is find out whether the person takes your insurance. If you don't have insurance, that's not an issue, but many people do have insurance that will pay for therapy, at least a certain number of sessions. So find out right up front whether the person you're considering accepts your type of insurance. I hope this helps, and I hope you have a great experience in therapy.